In the grand tapestry of history, there are moments that test the very limits of power, ambition, and legacy. Imagine a world where two titans, each ruling vast empires, stand on the brink of collision. On one side, the Roman Empire, a relentless machine of discipline, engineering, and conquest. Its legions marching across continents, leaving roads, fortresses, and stories of glory in their wake. On the other, the Persian Empire, a civilization of staggering wealth, boundless culture, and formidable warriors who have defended their lands for centuries with cunning, speed, and an unyielding spirit. The question lingers like a shadow over history itself. Could the Persian Empire, with all its grandeur and might, truly challenge the Roman war machine at the height of its golden age? Tonight, we explore not just armies and battles, but the clash of civilizations, the strategies that define nations, and the enduring question of whether human ingenuity and courage can match unstoppable power in the heart of the ancient world. There existed an entity unlike any other, a force that did not merely fight wars, but transformed the very nature of battle itself. The Roman Empire at the height of its golden age was not just a collection of soldiers. It was a living, breathing institution, forged in the crucible of centuries, tempered by discipline and honed to perfection. To witness a Roman legion was to witness precision incarnate. Each man, each unit, each formation moved not as individuals, but as a singular, unstoppable entity. Their discipline was legendary, their training relentless, and their loyalty unshakable. Rome's legions were the embodiment of order in a world often ruled by chaos. Soldiers drilled day and night, their bodies conditioned for endurance, their minds sharpened for strategy. When the legion marched, it was a machine in motion. Every soldier a cog in a vast apparatus designed for one purpose: victory. Shields locked together to form impenetrable walls, spears projected forward like iron teeth, and the standard-bearer's eagle, gleaming and unwavering, served as a beacon, a symbol of Rome's eternal gaze upon the world. But the strength of Rome was not measured in brute force alone. It was engineering, logistics, and innovation that made the difference between a successful campaign and a forgotten one. Roads stretched like arteries across continents, carrying men, weapons, and supplies with astonishing efficiency. Forts and outposts sprang from the earth at strategic intervals, not merely to defend, but to project power, to make the very land submit to Roman order. Siege engines, perfected over decades, could batter walls that had withstood centuries, turning the art of defense into a fleeting illusion. Rome did not simply wage war. It transformed landscapes into theaters of its ambition. And yet it was adaptability that crowned Rome as a true colossus. They did not fight every battle the same way. They learned from defeat, incorporated the strengths of their enemies, and it evolved. Cavalry, archers, engineers, and infantry each played a part, synchronized like the movements of a grand orchestra. Roman generals, men of vision and cunning, understood that strategy was more than maps and formations. It was psychology, timing, and the subtle art of intimidation. To face a Roman army was to face certainty itself, a certainty that every maneuver, every step, and every heartbeat had been calculated, anticipated, and prepared for. And yet, behind all this power was a story of humanity. These were men who marched through storms, who endured hunger, who faced death with unwavering resolve. Their victories were not just won on the battlefield, but in the mind, the belief that they were not merely fighting for themselves, but for Rome itself. And it was this belief, more than steel or strategy, that made the Roman war machine a force that reshaped the known world. As we imagine the Persian Empire standing on the horizon, gazing at the advancing legions, one must consider this. Rome was more than an army. It was an idea. An idea that the disciplined, the innovative, and the unyielding could bend the world to their will. To confront such a force was to confront history itself, a moving tide of iron and resolve, an embodiment of human ambition at its most relentless. Across the eastern horizon, a different kind of empire stretches, vast and unyielding, the Persian Empire. To speak of Persia is to speak of grandeur, of cities that gleam like jewels beneath the sun, of riches that could rival the treasures of the world, and of a civilization that has endured through centuries of conquest and turmoil. While Rome is the hammer, precise and unstoppable, Persia is the bow, flexible and swift, bending with the winds of change, yet snapping back with lethal force. The Persians were masters not merely of land, but of organization. Their empire was a mosaic of cultures, peoples, and landscapes, woven together by a central vision and the skill of rulers who understood the delicate art of governance. Roads stretched like veins across deserts and mountains, carrying messages, soldiers, and merchants alike. Water systems and granaries ensured that the empire could sustain its people and its armies even in the harshest seasons. Persia's strength was in its vastness, in its ability to turn diversity into unity, and unity into power. And then there were the warriors. Among them, the Immortals, an elite force, ever present, ever ready, a living symbol of Persia's unbroken resolve. Cavalrymen rode like shadows across plains, swift and deadly, striking with precision before vanishing into the dust. Archers rained death from a distance, their arrows tracing arcs of inevitability across the battlefield. Persia's armies were not mere hordes. They were instruments of strategy, combining numbers with speed, power with intelligence. Where Rome relied on discipline, Persia relied on adaptability. Where Rome relied on formation, Persia relied on mobility and cunning. But the Persian Empire was more than its armies. It was wealth that could fund campaigns lasting years. It was resources that could sustain sieges, build fortresses, and maintain legions across deserts, mountains, and rivers. It was diplomacy, alliances, and the skill to turn potential foes into vassals, to weave loyalty from diversity. Persia understood that war was not only fought with swords and spears, it was fought with gold, with influence, and with the perception of invincibility. And yet, perhaps the greatest strength of Persia lay in its spirit. It had faced conquerors before, and though empires had risen and fallen at its gates, Persia endured. Its culture, its religion, its people, all contributed to a resilience that was as formidable as any army. This was not a force to be underestimated. To meet Persia on the battlefield was to face centuries of history, to confront a civilization that had learned to survive, to adapt, and to strike when least expected. As we imagine the clash with Rome, one can feel the tension in the air. On one side, the unyielding legions of an empire at the height of its golden age. On the other, the enduring, adaptable, and resourceful forces of Persia, whose very existence has been a testament to survival and strategy. It is not merely a question of might or numbers. It is a confrontation of wills of civilizations, each shaped by its own vision of the world, each believing in its own form of invincibility. And in that meeting, history itself holds its breath. When the might of Rome meets the resilience of Persia, it is more than an army facing an army. It is the collision of two worlds, two visions of power, two philosophies of war. Rome moves like clockwork, precise and yielding, disciplined. Persia flows like water, adaptable, cunning and swift. And in that meeting, the earth itself seems to pause, as if it too wishes to witness the outcome. The Romans, with their legions locked in perfect formation, march forward with certainty, confident in the strength of their training, the brilliance of their strategy, and the momentum of centuries of conquest. Their battle lines are a testament to order, a demonstration of how humanity can bend chaos to its will through discipline and foresight. Every man knows his place, every commander knows the plan, and every soldier moves as though part of a singular, unstoppable force. Siege engines roar, shields lock, and the sound of marching feet echoes like the heartbeat of destiny itself. Across the field, the Persians watch, calculating, waiting, understanding that the brute force of Rome can't be matched. Not always with equal numbers, but with intelligence, strategy, and time. Cavalry sweeps the flanks, archers strike from a distance, and elite forces maneuver in silence, striking where the Romans are weakest. Persia does not meet the Roman machine head-on. It bends, it feints, it retreats, and returns like a shadow, striking fear and doubt into those who believe victory is inevitable. And then there is the battle of ideology itself. Rome embodies conquest through order, strength, and permanence. Persia embodies survival through adaptability, influence, and the ability to endure. Rome seeks to dominate the land. Persia seeks to master it. Rome relies on certainty. Persia thrives in uncertainty. And in this philosophical duel, strategy becomes a dance, and tactics become poetry written in blood and iron. Yet perhaps the true question is not which empire possesses greater power, but which can impose its vision upon the other. Can the precision and discipline of Rome overcome the cunning and flexibility of Persia? Can the logistical genius of the legions withstand the vast resources and maneuverability of an empire that has endured the rise and fall of countless invaders? Every clash, every maneuver, every choice on the battlefield carries the weight of history itself. In imagining this confrontation, one begins to understand that this is not simply a battle of armies, but a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and the will to shape destiny. It is a story of what it means to confront seemingly unstoppable power and to rise, adapt, and fight regardless of the odds. Here, at the edge of two great civilizations, we glimpse the essence of history. A reminder that greatness is never given. It is forged, challenged, and tested against the might of those who dare to oppose it. And as the dust settles and the echoes of war fade into memory, one truth remains clear. The clash of Rome and Persia is not just a story of soldiers and kings. It is a story of the enduring human spirit, the eternal struggle between order and adaptability, and the timeless question of whether even the mightiest force can truly be challenged.